how the reel should go up here, and film runs through here, and it's always breaking it, and it's coming out. This thing was probably used and still used by editors. This is based on a book by Sarah Fordham, The House of Gucci. It was brought to my attention, funnily enough, by my wife, who's a producer, has done several things, not with me. This would be the first thing I've ever done with Janina. And she said, this is a really interesting story. And that was 20 years ago. So in the 20 years, we've been trying to get it written where you have the balance of what actually happened with the personal side of the story, which is constantly offset against the evolution of the business. And so it was an interesting thing of a family history, a grand family history, almost Italian royalty in the fashion industry, which led to destruction of the family. I used to buy my mother little Gucci presents every Christmas. And so I knew a lot about the Gucci evolution as a product, as a franchise. And so I didn't have to do much research. I've been right through that. I lived through everything in the 60s. I was at the Royal Court of Art in the 60s. There's no one better than the Royal Court of Art in the 60s, trust me. So I'd been through it. And so the next step is to bring my designers to bear to it, which will be Janti, which is the clothing, and then the production designer, Arthur Max, where we can both identify the places and the time, what they might be, and of course what the fashion would be, because that becomes very important, and I think it's taken quite an important part in the film. I think Janti got it really well done, and even though we looked at early Gucci stuff, and it was really impressive. The early Gucci stuff was very impressive. We had some research material, and Paolo looked just like that. I said, how are you going to do this? He said, well, makeup. I said, that's the hardest makeup to do, to put it on from here to here. When you're doing that, and you're going to get creases. It's the hardest thing to do. We found a genius in Scandinavia who we were able to have this done every morning. He was there at 4:30 a.m. with a 4-hour makeup. Then you arrive on the set, okay, let's go. And there he was, and he was a completely different person. I started to be very curious about Stefania, particularly when I saw A Star Is Born. And I thought, there's more here than her talent, a formidable talent as an entertainer and as a singer, as a producer and a writer of her own show. This is a real engine of creativity. And so I met with her, and she came to the office, and I liked her immediately, and she was fascinated immediately, and that's how it began. Sometimes a singer can also be a natural actor or actress, because that's what they do on stage when they're singing. They're so inside their own words that she writes them. So she's writing her own play, which she then sings. So in a funny kind of way, it's not a stone's throw, less than a stone's throw away from, if you get in a script, can you just act and not sing? And so that became very apparent, that she was very superlatively prepared for every line, more than normal in the whole story. So she didn't miss a beat on a line.
Always a lot of things to learn from a phenomenal director, actually a world-building director like Ridley Scott. If you haven't seen any of his films before, I mean, he's got a list going from the first original Alien film all the way to Gladiator, onto something more recent like Prometheus, which is one of my favorite of his films too, and going on over even to, you know, dramas like Matchstick Men and stuff like that. The man has done a lot of work out there and many different facets of genres in filmmaking. So he is a great director to learn from and learn how to world build just like him. He's a man that I look into a lot as far as like all his work. I've watched all of the behind the scenes of Gladiator and those 3 to almost 4 hours behind the scenes for Prometheus, which I highly recommend checking those type of things out, because the man can storyboard for himself and do a bunch of other things and paint a whole world for you just before you even walk on set or even call action. So let me know down in the comments down below your favorite Ridley Scott film, and are you excited about seeing House of Gucci like I am? It's phenomenal to see him do movies like this about history and historical events and stuff like that, even in pop culture. So let me know down in the comments down below your thoughts of this film and any other Ridley Scott film, and I'll see you here next time. Later.